I'm glad you got played. I hope you get played again. I should have been playing your bitch ass out the money. But I'm glad he played you out the money. Bitch, send that nigga 500 more.
I apologize, not to my liking, nigga. You can't apologize to your liking. Apologize to my liking. I'm gonna need like a real like bow down type apology, brother. My wife and Cynthia. And I need it to be laid out in a way where I at least believe it. Or at least somewhat believe it. Because I probably won't anyway. But like, you're gonna have to publicly bow down for the things you said. Like, we don't benefit from talking to you. You benefit from talking to us. You niggas gonna learn to understand social hierarchy and stop running your fucking mouth when Taz is around. Otherwise, stay your bitch ass on the outside. I don't have to share my fucking link with you.
Afro Svengalis. Okay, who you heard from was Remix, and you heard from Taz, the GOAT. I have links to both of their channels. I'm going to explain more as far as the significance of these two comments. Just hang on. I'll get there. I promise you I'll get there. I think it's time for another episode of the Green-Eyed Monstrosities, and this was actually irresistible. Do y'all remember a person by the name of Carrie A who stole the name that she has now? Sometimes I get carried away, as she was booted from this space because she was disrespecting the culture of the channel. So she goes over and does, I think it was like a 33-day rant, different videos that she posted about me, calling me crazy as hell, just a bunch of ridiculous comments she was making. And I saved all of those videos, by the way. A lot of inflammatory and slanderous comments that she made about me and Rev G. But the reason why I'm coming on here today is to talk about her incredible anger and resentment and envy and jealousy towards many people in these YouTube streets, because she perceives them to have something that's unattainable. And I'm going to get real petty. I'm going to get real disrespectful. I may curse. You might hear all kinds of things because this person is so vulgar and reprehensible. Sometimes you just have to repeat some of the things that she says. I want to start out with these comments you all sent me. This happens to be a replica of Let Me See Your Handcuffs Demon Infused live stream. It's just moved to another space. So I have the audio, but I was interested in the screenshots you sent. And I'm going to go over a few of them with you. And I'm going to explain to you the significance of those. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to get extremely immature. I'm going to downshift about 4 notches to get down on Carrie's level and be incredibly petty. This is the type of conduct that she displays in these YouTube streets that people complain about. You guys send me these screenshots, and most of the time I just ignore them. But you all know my reason for staying on Carrie A is because what she did to Rev G. And we'll talk about that in a second. I want to illustrate what I said about her in the beginning. So I want you to look at this comment here. It says, in this demon-infused live stream, the host I will not name, it says, where is that comment? It says, I think it would be a mistake to think Umar is her only target. She probably exists in a few spaces. Yes, this is true. And here comes AAS being petty, low down, shifting down to Carrie Ann's level. I was doing a favor for a friend. I was moderating for her channel, and I forgot to leave a comment on another video that I had listened to. And that video was in another space. I meant to leave the comment. I said, darn it, I'm doing this moderating for this channel, but I'm going to slide over there real quick and just leave my comment. And I went over there, and I typically don't use AAS avatar in sports blogging. I've been doing the sports since before I even knew who Umar Johnson was. So I just slid over there real quick. I had the screens open, and I typed this comment in the sports section, and I'm putting it up here so you can see it. What I want you to look at is the number of thumbs up this comment received. It's coming up on 800. And it was just, I'm typing with one hand. Do you get where I'm going? Yes, I'm in other spaces. And guess what, people? I'm being as petty as I want to be. I get more attention than you do, Carrie. Ha, 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 ha. Nah, 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 nah. That's how she is. Always crying and complaining about other people getting something that she doesn't get. So tell me when Carrie Ann gets a thumbs up that approaches 800. I can move in all different spaces, honey. I can move around and I get what you want that you'll never get, that you don't know how to get, and that is respect. Because you don't exude respect. You have to demonstrate self respect before people will bestow it upon you. So I go into all different spaces. And this is actually lower end in the sports area where I get comments. 1,500, 3,000. Trust me, I think the highest number of thumbs up I got was 5,000. I'm all over the place, honey. You're damn right. And this is the welcome that I get. This is the respect that I get. So you coming up here trying to find a way to rain on my parade, honey, you don't have the qualifications to pull it off. You're tacky, you're low down, you're dirty, disgusting, vile, and repulsive. And you're not likely to get this reaction unless you go to the porn sector based on the shit that comes out of your mouth. So yeah, I'm in all different types of spaces. And I'm going to give you another space that I'm in later on in this video, people. If you want to jump to that bonus, you see the timestamp. It is a humdinger, and it relates to what I have to say about these two individuals that Carrie Ann thinks she's so cute by going on here and trashing these brothers. She was trashing Taz. She was trashing Rev G, or she calls herself trashing them. Okay, I'm going to start with Taz. What Carrie did, she went and listened to a debate that Taz had with a person by the name of Jabari Osaze. He is, for lack of a better description, a Pan-Africanist. He travels to the continent, and I think he primarily goes to Egypt and Ghana. He says he's been studying for 25 years the nations on the African continent. So Carrie Ann gets this wise idea to go over to this space and listen to this debate, and she calls this brother doctor. No research. Obviously doesn't know anything about the person, but guess what she did? You think $500 that she gave Photon was a doozy. She's ready to throw down $8,000 to go on a guided tour led by this individual named, I'm going to say Jabari. I think I'm pronouncing the name correct, the last name, but just to be on the safe side, Jabari. She kept calling him doctor. And she's ready to throw down $8,000. And she has the nerve to sit here and talk about how much smarter she is than everybody in these YouTube streets. I mean, the people that she cries and complains and whines about, it's really sickening, people. If you feel you have a standard amount of self-respect and decency, you don't run around crying about virtually everybody in these YouTube streets. But I want to get into more about what she was saying about Taz, because this is, trust me, people, this person, Carrie Ann, is looking so hard for attention, but I can promise you this is not the kind of attention that she is going to want, nor is she going to benefit from. So let's start. She says that Taz made a fool of himself. And I'm not playing her garbage bullshit on this channel. She says that Taz made a fool out of himself because Dr. Jabari, that he should have known, because Dr. Jabari has studied this and he studied that. He's a scholar in the field, ... And here's this $8,000 she's ready to throw down. So let me tell you a little something about Jabari. Oh, I did my research, because I don't come on here saying anything about anybody unless I've done my research. If I don't have the information, I will make a qualification and state that. But I went and did a little research on Jabari. And by the way, he was the one that started out insulting Taz after Taz gave his opening statement. The debate was facilitated by Sonnetter, okay? So I go over to this website. Let me tell you what I find. I find that he has a bachelor's degree in Africana Studies from Cornell University. Okay, great. I don't know how long ago that degree was awarded. Then he has a master's degree in administration, not in any way related to Africana Studies or the study of the African continent. Then it says, and I have a link so you can go and check it out yourself. Then it says he's a doctoral candidate for metaphysical science. A doctoral candidate. Hello, Carrie A, you don't call people who are doctoral candidates doctors. Did you do your damn research before you decided you're going to throw down $8,000? And while you're at it, you're calling everybody else ignorant and stupid. And you think you elevated above everybody else and you don't know how to do standard basic research. Now, if this brother has since then obtained his doctorate, I'll come back on here and say, but I looked and I looked and I looked, I could find no evidence of Jabari having completed doctoral studies and being awarded a doctorate degree. Even if he was having it in metaphysical sciences, that would make him an expert over everybody else who has an interest in issues surrounding the African continent and our people. That's an extremely ignorant position to assume. But this is the thing with Carrie A. All she likes to do is talk about the degree that she has. Who else do we know does that? Nikki Proctor Walden, Umar Johnson. They don't want you to hear anything else but the fact that I have a degree. You are to defer to me. Oh, okay. Only the most ignorant would assume that position. So let me tell you what else she was saying about Taz. She says, basically, that Taz was a bum, basically a bum in the gutter, and I think that's his wife. She thinks it's his wife, right? And we all know that Nylah is Taz's wife. Nylah picked Taz up from the gutter, dusted him off, brought him home, and so basically for the next 20-something years, he sat at home being an armchair rebel while Nylah went out and worked. Where she came up with that scenario, there's a reason why she has these scenarios. Let's just roll with it. It's totally and completely false. Well, you don't know anything about them. Nothing at all. So she has to run this scenario to make her feel what? That she is the person that should have been picked. Then she goes on having a conniption fit because Taz has a position about Malcolm X that may not be popular. It's not a romanticized view of Malcolm X. That's his perspective. Does he not have a right to have his perspective about Malcolm X or anybody else? Of course he does. He laid out his points. And so Carrie comes on and says, she's not there, but this is her response. Well, isn't Taz the one that has all of this stuff for the criminal, this? And these idiots in her live stream start feeding her information. And what does she do? She's supposed to be an educated person. She takes the information hook, line, and sinker. And guess what she comes up with? She compares Malcolm X and his entanglements with the justice system versus Taz's history with the justice system. And she decides that Taz is the one that has all of these run-ins with the law. And Malcolm X, look at this photo here. Malcolm X, all he was doing, look at this rifle, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is how she was describing it. He got involved with crime to fight white supremacy. Now, does anybody know the significance of this photo when Malcolm X has the rifle here? Carrie A used this photo to prop up her bullshit lies that Malcolm X only got involved with any criminal activity to fight white supremacy. Anybody, now she's supposed to be a teacher. She's supposed to know everything. Sounds like she's been sitting in Let Me See Your Handcuffs history class. People, look, Malcolm X had a substantial criminal history before he became a member of the Nation of Islam. That does not even apply to Taz in any respect. But she doesn't know that. She just decides to take this bullshit information she gets and decides that it's truth. We're not that done? I mean, where does she get the gall to talk about anybody? Incredibly ignorant. If you have to keep talking about a degree that you have, that means you have an incredible amount of insecurity, believing people are not going to accept what you have to say unless you prop it up with "I have a degree." Now, it's also insulting that someone who says that they've studied the continent of Africa for 25 years, they have a bachelor's degree. So are we to say, let's say for an example, the bachelor's degree was obtained, I'm just making up any timeline because I don't know, 25 years ago or 20 years ago. Are we saying that no updates to people's perspectives and research has done anything to influence how history is presented? You get to accept history any way it's presented to you or do your own research. So that means everybody else is barred from taking it upon themselves to learn about history and gather and formulate their own perspective. We are beholden to someone who claims to have studied the continent of Africa for 25 years. I will tell you this, reputable professors don't even have that mindset. Professors engage the community all the time. Professors who have studied, have traveled all around the world, all through Africa, they will have a productive conversation with people who are self-taught. But Carrie doesn't believe in that. She sits there, she's so desperate for acceptance. She is going to go ahead and just listen to what people tell her about Taz. She has absolutely no idea that everything she said was a bald-faced lie. So let's get on to Rev G. Now we know Carrie A has accused Rev G, has horrendously slandered Rev G. But let me tell you something about Carrie and her most recent comments about Rev G. She was basically calling him a bum, calling him gay again. I'm not going to post these comments. She's taking Rev G, Gerald, who is a heterosexual, happily married man, and continuing to gay bash him. So I'd like to know what Carrie Ann's school is going to think about the fact that she not only labeled Rev G, accusing him of perhaps the most serious of all crimes, and now she continues to consider him gay for the purposes of her showing what a homophobe she is. She just has to find something to say about Rev G. And there is a twist to this. Carrie Ann had the nerve to talk about Rev G's teeth. Well, Carrie Ann, you absolutely would not be a candidate for a poster that goes into a dentist's office advertising dental work as a finished product. Your teeth are not in excellent condition. They certainly can't be ones that you can sit there and criticize Rev G about his dental issues. So this person is just trying her hardest. So let me tell you what Carrie Ann has done. Carrie Ann has taken two men, and actually it's kind of interesting because Taz and Rev G have quite a lot in common. I won't get into all of it, but incredible physical strength, raised children who are successful, very interesting. Both have a child or adult child, you know what I mean, who are business owners, successful business owners, and they both have a child in college doing very well. And Rev G has one that's not out of high school yet. Homeowners, highly respected in their fields where they have been for over 20 years. Passport carrying. I mentioned passport because this Jabari person came on and just started attacking Taz and says, you don't even have a passport. How the hell does he know if Taz has a passport? He does have a passport. And this was made known because of the stink that was being raised and the lies that were being spread that Taz is some career criminal on the run. I mean, all the lies, it's just people, you can't possibly defend against all the lies. When it comes to people's criminal backgrounds, people try to use that as ammunition and try to make it seem as though if someone had issues in the past, they're forever damned. And his issues long ago. You hypocrites out there, don't say a damn thing when you see somebody get their ass beat by the cops. Highly respected in their community. Family men, fiercely protected, fiercely loyal, husband and wife, both couples for over 20 years. The list goes on, but I want to add this one. This is incredible. Shirt off your back, generous, even to strangers. But that doesn't fit the scenario that Carrie Ann wants to put out there, because if she puts out the false scenario, the bullshit lies, somehow it placates her, at least for the time that she's sitting on a camera, temporarily, letting people know, I'm better than Nylah, Taz's wife. I'm better than Rev G's wife. Really, people? Is that what we're seeing? The list that I just read off. What woman would not want a man like this? What woman would push away a man with these descriptors? Carrie Ann is up here on YouTube crying and whining daily, people. Like, I don't even listen to all the clips that you send right away, okay? I appreciate it, because you know what our mission is with her is to get her ass hooked up for what she did to Rev G. That's why we're on her ass. We don't talk about her much, but we've been watching her. And Carrie Ann has slipped up like, let me see your handcuffs did. We won't go into that now. But Carrie Ann is constantly on YouTube crying and whining that the traits that I just described with Taz and Rev G are inaccessible to her. She's constantly crying and whining that men are calling her a hoe, that she's celibate, obviously very lonely, because she claims one thing and comes and cries about another. And she came here on YouTube. What was she doing when she came onto YouTube? Trashing black men. Now listen, there are people out there who have concerns about what's happening in our community as far as our brothers, but they have a context to their concerns. There are spaces where men have issues about what's happening with us, sisters. The ones who are respectful have a context. Even if I don't agree with what they're saying, they provide a respectable context to set up the conversation. Carrie doesn't have any of that. Nobody says you have to agree with what anyone says, but when you come on to the airwaves and you just sit here and slander people, you pick and choose things that sound good to you so you can soothe yourself because you don't have access to what Taz's wife has and what Rev G's wife has. You wish you were in Rev G's wife's position. You wish you were in Taz's wife's position. You're not in either position. And then she continues it on by saying things like, he's creepy. Of course you're going to say stuff like that. Rev G is not known as a creepy person in his community. Not creepy to his daughter, not creepy to his wife, not creepy to his sons, not creepy to anybody except somebody who knows he has positive qualities that she can't access. Neither one of these men would ever pick you, Carrie Ann. Look what's happening to you here in these YouTube streets. This is where you come to try to find relationships. And listen, hold it. Don't get me wrong. There are people who have come onto the World Wide Web, social media, whatever you want to call it, mature individuals who have found love, and it has endured. But it's the reason why you come into this space. And Carrie Ann came into this space doing what, people? For those of you who don't recall, Carrie Ann came into this space broad brush attacking and denigrating and verbally abusing black men. That's what Carrie Ann did. Carrie Ann ended up talking about, pardon my French, dicks she wanted to suck, giving her pussy a break, wanting to have big dicks, all this stuff. This is what she was saying. She's talking like this. And she got upset because people called her on her vulgar and disgusting behavior. She ended up giving Remix and Photon lifetime dragging rights over her because she doesn't know how to keep her fat ass mouth, her nasty, disgusting, potty mouth shut. And let me tell you something, people. Carrie Ann is so worried about what other people are doing because she so covets what these people have. Allure. Other people are interested in what they have to say. I don't know the Scarlet person. I never met her. but people are interested in her in some respect. Who else is she? She complains about everybody. Photon, she complains about him. Remix, she complains about him. Nikki, she complains about her. Let me see your handcuffs, she complains about her. Supposed to be her friend. Supposed to be friends. Don't consider Carrie Ann your friend. What woman would have a friend and go off and tell another man about her friend's marital issues, marital problems? This is what Carrie Ann did to Nikki. Why in the hell would she be telling Photon about Nikki's marital issues? That's just bizarre. No wonder you don't have a man who looks to you so badly how you want to be looked at. But you have to give that in order to get it. You're Queen of Sheba and you think some noble knight is going to run up on his horse and grab you and run off with you into happy Everland. Well, why don't you set yourself up this scenario? Because there are some women who feel that they've been swept off their feet. And that happens to be Taz's wife and Rev G's wife, who I know both very well. As a matter of fact, I met Taz first. Nylah came on a little bit later. She was kind of in and out, but I've known them since I came to YouTube. They are personal friends of mine. So I have very few people who are close personal friends, and you just happen to be talking shit about 4 close personal friends. I don't take kindly to it, and neither do they. This is not the type of attention that you want, Carrie Ann. You need to keep your fat ass mouth shut. You need to listen carefully and watch what's happening to Let Me See Your Handcuffs. You came into the public airways saying all of this shit about people. You're going to have to pay the piper publicly. There is no more secret. There was no more hiding behind the scenes. You were showing off. You thought you were funny. You thought it was cute. You think, oh my goodness, I can curse, I can scream, I can talk about sex and talk about my pussy and sucking dicks. And you expect to be treated like the Queen of Sheba. Well, you mess with the wrong people and you're going to learn the hard way. Who knows? Maybe Carrie Ann will never learn. We're certainly going to find out. But people, you have an introduction to what's to come. Stick around for the bonus. So don't touch that dial. After you hear, buyer beware.
Hey, Anti. She says, I'm resisting a temptation to name the Struggle Channel female freak. Claiming Taz was dragged in an interview. What the? Oh, let me tell you something. Girl, I don't even know who it is, but I can kind of guess. All right? Because let me go and put this out here. It's some attention-seeking ass bitches around here that was around our channels, right? Slurping around, and I do mean slurping and slithering around, and wanted more attention from Taz than what they were getting, okay? And when they couldn't get it, and they could not grow and all of that kind of stuff, they get mad, right? And so then they sit around and they literally fixate on Taz like he's their boyfriend. They do. These little retarded ass bitches be sitting up and Taz said this and Taz did this and Taz is not your motherfucking man. Why are you worried, bitch? Number one, he wouldn't let her mammy for him. Number two, her services weren't needed and she didn't get the attention that she wanted. It happens all the fucking time.
I've only seen a few of his shows, and on one of his shows I was so impressed I cash apped him. And just passing through, I'm not that familiar with his content. And I know that his, I think wife was, I saw her through Cynthia G.
Highly fucking ridiculous. And I don't even know, like, first of all, let me tell you something, because like these weird ass bitches, they watch every goddamn thing else. I see I'm gonna have to put this some bitch right here on Patreon on members only when I'm done. But these hoes, listen, if the shit did not work in the last 15 dudes, if it didn't work in real life, what in the hell do you think, how is it going to work in the virtual world? It's not going to work in the virtual world either. You still paying your own rent, right? You still trying to figure out how to get your hair every 2 or 3 weeks, right? You still can't get your feelings every 2 weeks. You got to get them once a month. It's like you still out here just setting it out there for free, climbing your ass up Mammy Mountain and being left up there. Just a muling for no goddamn reason. Like, it's just weird. Girl, it's like, and one of these hoes will sit up there and have an entire conversation about what Taz needs to be doing and who he need to be talking to, all from a goddamn homeless shelter. All from a goddamn, how in the fuck? Because one of these bitches I want to ask, how in the fuck are you sitting in a homeless goddamn shelter? And I don't play with that because I don't like people weaponizing poverty, right? But how is you sitting in a motherfucking homeless shelter with a baby worried about what the fuck we doing over here? Girl, she gonna make this video. Oh yeah, I used to go over there and I used to be over there with Nylah and Taz. But, because Taz was so masculine and and he was defending us. So I just thought he was a good person. But now that he got those swirlers and divestors on his channel, Nylah and Taz be talking to them swirlers and bitch, you think a swirler or a divester is in your way of getting to Taz? Are you serious, ho? No, it wasn't you. It wasn't swirlers or divestors that got in the way, ho. It wasn't even your 3 goddamn stomachs and chins that got in the way. He ain't checking for you. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't got nothing to do with you. The nigga don't want you. Okay? Okay? Like, he was so masculine. And he was this. He was that. If you don't sit your dumb ass down somewhere, start intermittent fasting, I'm sorry. Do something. Do something with yourself. Ain't got shit to do. Ain't nobody trying to fuck. Like, what's going on? Ain't nobody trying to get none from you. You ain't got no books to read. Okay? You don't have a doctor's appointment to make. You don't got a nail appointment. You ain't got a hair. No, you ain't got no damn appointments. Because that trolling bullshit, that's a broke bitch sport. I get tired of these weird motherfuckers on YouTube. I am sick of these weird. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to rant. These motherfuckers on YouTube are so goddamn weird, right? They will follow you anywhere you go just to tell everybody how much they hate you. Like you really give a fuck, right? Just always just stop fucking with me. Okay? Because if ever I could find out who the fuck you are, and we're working on it. Okay? It's just weird. Why do these motherfuckers follow us everywhere? Like, why are you talking to me? Go talk to the 10 motherfuckers in your chat room. That's what you go do. Go talk to them. Go talk to the 10 motherfuckers in your chat room, or go find one of these weird assholes with our names in titles, having some sort. Go find them hoes. That's what you do. Like, stay the fuck from over here. I get tired of these. Look, y'all do not know. There is some weird bitches on here. They are very weird. Like, seriously. You ain't got nothing to do. Sex change, hormone replacement therapy. You ain't got a motherfucking thing to do but fucking troll Nylah, Taz, or Sin, or whatever. Nothing at all. Been sitting up on YouTube struggling for some goddamn attention, and now you got it, bitch. Like, seriously, leave me the fuck alone. You better leave me the fuck alone before I put something on you that you won't get off for the next 3 or 4 goddamn generations. I'm sick of y'all. These motherfuckers follow us everywhere. Like, why are you talking to me? Go talk to the 10 motherfuckers in your chat room. That's what you go do. Go talk to them. Go talk to the 10 motherfuckers in your chat room, or go find one of these weird assholes with our names in titles, having some sort. Go find them hoes. That's what you do. Like, stay the fuck from over here.